back here to end our year at CTA. Tree considers herself first and foremost a student of coaching, team culture, leadership, and generational understanding. She possesses 3 decades of coaching and leadership experience at a variety of levels and has built a championship pedigree with successes at numerous stops, including Ferris State University, Central Michigan, and Western Michigan. Since leaving the collegiate volleyball coaching ranks in 2015, she has traveled the country working with teams and coaches to improve their performance through culture, generational understanding, and leadership development. She works in partnership with the nonprofit True North Sports and Growing Leaders Incorporation, as well as her own entity, Tree Roots Consulting. In addition to working with teams, Beeckman is a highly rated public speaker who has high energy and inspiring style, makes her sought out for many people to have as their keynote speaker. She also works as a commentator for ESPN's coverage of college volleyball and is an adjunct professor at the University of Florida. In 2020, she authored the book, Managing Your Culture. She was a college athlete herself, having lettered in softball for 4 years at Saginaw Valley State University, where she earned her bachelor's in psychology. She is a 2018 NCAA Women's Coaches Academy graduate and a proud 18-year resident of Big Rapids, Michigan. Tree has a true passion for helping young people find their purpose and empowering them to be their very best, no matter what their circumstances are. I am proud to call Tree not only my friend, but I'm just grateful for the positive influence that she's brought into my life. Please join me in a round of applause as we welcome our 2023 CTA Commencement speaker, Tree Beeckman.
Wow, that's pretty daunting of an entrance. I'll see y'all later. No, but really, Superintendent Mattson, CTA, Board of Directors, administration, staff, friends and family, and of course, the graduates of the class of 2023. Good evening and welcome. It is my deep privilege to stand before you all today to help you celebrate this important milestone in these young lives right here. And now you all know, but some of you might not have known, that I did start the school year off with our graduates in an early full school assembly. So to get to bookend this school year and help them cap off their high school careers is truly an honor, and I thank Superintendent Mattson for the opportunity. In preparing a speech such as this, I thought back to my own high school graduation some 29 years ago. That's kind of a kick in the teeth to say, I'm kidding. And I'll tell you all, it's gone by much, much faster than you can imagine. But specifically, I thought about standing up on stage, addressing the graduates, my peers at the time, much like this. And I thought about the quote that I wrapped that speech around, and it was our class motto, a quote by Winston Churchill. It's not the end, it's not the beginning of the end. It is the end of the beginning. And that is so true. It was so true of our class then, and it's true of yours today. This is the end of your beginning. Today marks the end of an important beginning stage of your lives. The foundation has been set. And it was in a conversation with your superintendent, Mrs. Mattson, last week, that she shared with so much love what a special class this is. Specifically, she talked about your closeness. You're all having each other's backs, and how much you have all shown and expressed your appreciation for your teachers and staff and one another, and for the safeness you have felt as you've grown here at Creative Technologies Academy. And you've needed to. Your high school journey hasn't been easy or typical, and it's one that none of us, and by us, I mean the old people in the room, can truly know or understand. After all, it was the spring of your freshman year that everything changed. The world stopped, and upon its startup, you found a more fearful, divided, uncertain world than before. Regardless of how the pandemic affected you personally, at the very least it was uncertain. And uncertainty breeds fear, and with it brings adversity. It is through this adversity that you all have leaned upon one another and grown. where you've all risen above with one another. The silver lining of this winding road is that you've all been able to appreciate the people who have helped you build such a sturdy foundation for your future. The people who you are surrounded by, many of them tonight. As you get ready to enter this next stage of your lives, let me just share with you a couple of quick stories that I think might help you along the way. The first one is about a guy. He actually grew up in Michigan, and he moved later in life to Hawaii. And he was a public figure, and he was on The Tonight Show, and it was, well, you maybe not won't know this, but your parents will. It was when Johnny Carson was the host. So he appeared on The Tonight Show, and he flew back to Hawaii, and he did what he did every morning when he was home. He walked along the beach. And while he walked along the beach, a woman approached him, and she said, "Oh my gosh, I just saw you on The Tonight Show last night. I can't believe I'm running into you. This is amazing. We're from the Midwest, and we're thinking about moving our family to Hawaii. What are the people like here?" And the man looked at her, and he indulged, and he said, "Well, tell me, what are the people like where you're from?" And the woman thought about it, and she said, "It's the Midwest. They're amazing. Everybody looks out for everybody else. It feels like one big family. We're just so we don't know if we want to leave. We're kind of heartbroken to leave, but we have this opportunity here." And he looked at her and he said, "Well, that's pretty much what you're going to find here." And so they parted ways, and he continued on down the beach, and lo and behold, another woman with the same exact story walks up. Says, "Oh my gosh, I just saw you on The Tonight Show last night. I can't believe it. I can't believe I'm running into you. We're from Michigan, and we're thinking about moving to Hawaii. We have this opportunity here. I just have to know, what are the people like here?" And he says, "Well, what are the people like where you're from?" And she says, "It's the Midwest. And, well, everybody's kind of in your business, and everybody's nosy, and you just don't have any privacy. We can't wait to get out of there." And he looks at the woman, and with all sincerity, he says, "Well, that's pretty much what you're going to find here." And isn't that the truth? What you look for in this world, the narrative that you run your life with, that's pretty much what you're going to find in the world. And you can choose to go out in the world and look at people who are looking out for you with disdain, or you can see the friendly faces, and you can choose to interpret it with malice, or you can choose to see the goodness. You can choose abundance and knowing that there's not such a thing as too much love, or you can choose fear and scarcity and division. You have that choice. You are going out into the unmade future. Make sure that the narrative and what you want to find in other people is really what you want. The second story I want to tell you is about a man and a butterfly. This guy was in his yard, and he's in all his glory, and he's working around, and he sees this cocoon hanging from a tree branch. And he sees some movement. And he's like, "Oh, it's on, let's go." So he grabs a chair, he grabs some lemonade, he sits down, and he gets right eye to eye with this cocoon, and he's like, "This is my show. Clearly this guy's not got a lot going on, because that's not my idea of entertainment, but this is what I do." So he sits there and he watches, and there's some movement, and pretty soon a hole gets poked in the side of this cocoon. Pretty soon the head pops out, and he's eye to eye with this cocoon, or with this butterfly/caterpillar, and they're just chilling there. And he's like, "All right, this is on." And then all progress stops. And it's a long, long time. He keeps checking on it, and he'd go and get something, and he'd check again, he'd go back, he'd get something else. And he makes this decision. He decides that this butterfly, or soon-to-be butterfly, is stuck, and it can't get through any further. So he goes to his kitchen, and he grabs some scissors, and he cuts the cocoon away. He is going to help this caterpillar into butterfly lane. And when he does, it emerges, and it's crawling around, and it's got this fat, swollen body, and these shriveled up little wings. And it's kind of walking around, it can't fly. And he looks at it, and he says, "You know what? I think it'll be okay in time. After time, the body will shrink down, and the wings will expand, and it will be a butterfly. It'll be amazing." Neither of them happened, because what the man didn't think about or understand in his well-intentioned haste is that nature had absolutely designed the struggle of that thing making its way through that little tiny pinprick of a hole so it could squeeze the juice out of the body and into the wings so the butterfly could fly. And so often, we unintentionally do that for people we're leading, right? We take away the hurdle in front of them. When really, those are the things that make us great. You all heard me tell a story early in the school year about a time that I played high school football on the boys team. And on day 4, I got just absolutely demolished. But then I got back up, and I got the sack, and I recovered the fumble. And I said to you all at the beginning of the school year, it was in that moment that I knew without the shadow of a doubt that I would be able to stand up after getting knocked down. Doesn't matter what happened in my life, that I would be okay. We all think it's in this moment, and this is a really important milestone for you all. But it's not this moment. It's not the A on the paper. It's not the championship that you get. The pursuit of those goals is absolutely worthy. But when you attain them, that's not the thing that makes you. It's all of those knockdowns and bounce backs along the way that shape you so that you can go out and make this world a little bit better. And I don't know about you all, but I know that I desperately need you all to make this world a little bit better. I want to start to wrap it up, and I want to share with you a quote that I love, and many of you have probably heard it. Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. Your playing small does not serve the world. There is nothing enlightened about shrinking so that other people won't feel insecure around you. We are all meant to shine as children do. It's not just in some of us, it's in everyone. And as we let our own light shine, we unconsciously give other people permission to do the same. As we are liberated from our own fear, our presence automatically liberates others. A big challenge many will have throughout your lives will be resisting the urge to play small for others, or for the fear of falling down or failing. Let me today assuage you of that fear and assure you that you absolutely will fall down. You will be rejected and ridiculed by others along the way. So you might as well fall down and be rejected and ridiculed while creating beautiful things and making the world around you better. Your school and these people around you today have built under you wonderful foundations on which you will build your lives. You will all take your own path, and I implore you to make it just that, your own. For me, my own why is to inspire and connect people with each other so that together we can all leave this world just a little bit better than we found it. As you step out into the unmade future, and as you discover your particular why, pay attention to your inner voice. Your compass often expresses itself with feelings. Be sure not to numb, distract, or push them away, and don't automatically distrust them. Get curious about your inner voice, and let it guide you in your quest to make the millions of decisions that you will make along the way. For it is the sum of those decisions that make up your life, your one beautiful, precious life. Make it your own. Get back up when you're knocked down. Love again when you've been hurt. And shine as brightly as you're all meant to. That is how little by little you will all leave this world just a little bit better than you found it. Good luck to you all. We'll all be cheering for you along the way. Thank you.